Does this look photoshopped or what? Hey, my name's Alice Garriga, and today we're going to be talking about Photoshop and whether it has a negative impact on us or not. Some, like the American Medical Association, argue yes, it does have a negative impact by quoting, "They contribute to unrealistic body image expectations, eating disorders, and other emotional problems." However, others, like Dr. Vivian Diller, counter by raising awareness to the fact that, although physicians are studying links between photo distortion in advertising and the rise of eating disorders, the connection to the solutions have yet to be determined. So does Photoshop have a negative impact? Some argue yes. It's not unheard of to associate eating disorders and low self-esteem with Photoshop. It has been a popular area of discussion for many years, especially since magazines have gained in popularity. In some countries around the world, like France, it has been a matter of government intervention. But is Photoshop directly responsible for these health issues? The American Medical Association says yes. They recently released a policy statement linking Photoshop to eating disorders. They state, "Such alterations can contribute to unrealistic expectations in children that can lead to eating disorders and other health problems." In a study done by Bailey Groton and others in 2014, the participants reported after repeated exposure to photoshopped advertisements, they, quote, "fell victim to trying to dieting pills, binging, and emotional turmoil." Their participants reported lower self-esteem, higher expectations of other sex, and problematic dieting and binging. Overall, very negative effects to their health, not only emotionally, but physically as well. Bailey also states that Photoshop is labeled as false advertising that, quote, "then leads diseases such as eating disorders, depression, and low self-esteem, which can lead to people seriously harming themselves. It comes down to the fact that people are not satisfied with their bodies and will try to do anything to obtain what they see in the media." To put the contrast of ideals in perspective, Bailey, and I quote, "The average model portrayed in media is approximately 5'11" and 120 pounds. By contrast, the average American woman is 5'4" and 140 pounds. Although consumers are able to diet and lose weight, it is found that most consumers are not taking healthy steps to do this. Photoshop adds to the problem by creating a completely unattainable ideal. To quote Bailey, they are perfecting perfection. But does Photoshop actually affect us? By now the public is so aware, are we basically numb to Photoshop's psychological effects? Can we simply read a magazine and enjoy ourselves in confidence? Elizabeth Perel says yes, but no to the overall genuine argument being made. This is the no side, I repeat. Elizabeth Perel argues that eliminating Photoshop would have more negative consequences on the actors, models, and other performers for whom the pressures to alter their bodies will only be heightened, basically stating eliminating Photoshop would create more havoc and health issues in the fashion industry. So to clarify, she is in favor of keeping Photoshop because it does not have negative effects now, but would if it was eliminated. Some, like Dr. Vivian Diller, bring to light the photographer's point of view. Photoshop is used all across photography to enhance images and make them beautiful. Their purpose as artists is to create breathtaking work, not to body shame little girls. Dr. Diller also brings up a very important point. I quote, "Clearly, these are complicated psychological and sociological issues, in terms of both underlying causes for recent explosion of adolescent eating disorders, as well as subtle and not so subtle ways the media influence these problems. Just as there have long been questions about the connection between violence on TV and childhood aggression, or between cigarette ads and adolescent smoking, more research is required to know how to move forward on the cultural impact of Photoshop." She also states, from Carrie Arnold's article, "What's Photoshop Got to Do with It?" The studies the American Medical Association cited just don't connect Photoshop to diagnosable eating disorders, as spelled out by the DSM-5. Now that we have heard both sides, let's take a breath and step back and review what we just discussed. For the yes side, in short, the American Medical Association, Bailey Grottman, and Michael Grotman say yes, Photoshop does have a negative impact on today's society because of its promotion of unattainable body expectations that result in depression, low self-esteem, and eating disorders. To recap on the no side, Dr. Vivian Diller, Carrie Arnold, and Elizabeth Perel disagree, taking the artist side on the matter, and countering by pointing out the American Medical Association's lack of proper evidence makes their claim inconclusive, due to lack of proper research to back their findings up. So, now it's up to you. Do you think Photoshop has a negative impact on us? I would also like to give a huge thanks to all these authors who offered their articles online. It was very helpful and can be found in my works cited page as well. Thank you.